Hey, everybody. It is I, Jesse Blaze Snider, the coolest geek alive. If you like to listen to my entertainment, pop culture, geek culture show every Wednesday and every Saturday. If you don't listen to that, then you might just know me as Jesse Blaze Snider, the fire breather, who tells you all of the things that they don't want you to know, that the system would prefer you not to understand. So let's get into it, because there's one resource that is more valuable than money. It's more precious than oil, more fiercely fought over than land or power or gold. And that's your attention. Your attention's the gateway to your imagination, your beliefs, your energy, and your entire lived reality. And once they figured that out, they built a world so that they could steal it from you, so that they could steal the very reality that you live in right from beneath your feet. And most of you didn't even notice. Most of you were born into it. It was already a fake reality beneath your feet. I don't know at what point things shifted to this entirely false narrative. I'm sure it was gradual and over time, but something tells me this has been going on for a long, long time. So don't blame your parents or blame your grandparents, because they were probably born into this almost as much as you have been. However, the level to which they have stolen and fabricated reality has gotten so extreme, it's fucking nuts. I'm Jesse Blaze Snider, and today on Everything They Don't Want You to Know, we're going to rip the curtain off the greatest illusion of our time. A world built not to inform or empower or entertain you, even though it may seem that way, but a world built to distract you, to drain you, and to direct you towards false gods, fake crises, and rigged realities. From award shows to abortion debates, porn to politics, space races to school shootings. They don't care what you believe, just as long as you're looking where they want you to. Welcome to the circus, everyone. But this time, the lion's not in the cage. We are. But not this lion. This lion is here to roar, not on cue, not the way they want me to. And that's the problem. If we had more roaring about this fakery, about this fucking nonsense, it would dissolve overnight. It is the timidity of the majority of us to fucking call out bullshit when we see it that allows this charade to continue on unabated. So, the core premise here is that attention is currency, okay? Money. Your attention equals money. Every scroll, every click, and view that you give to anything, even to me, on some level, this is fucking right now, this is helping Facebook, this is helping the podcast algorithms, this is helping some people sell products. I hope that the advertisers that I get are, good companies. I try to avoid things that I wouldn't support. I'm not going to hear a bunch of political ads on my show. You're not going to hear a bunch of ads for fucking ridiculous designer drugs that may cause death on my show. But literally, I can't help it. I can't participate in this system in any way, shape, or form without rewarding their fucking attention-grabbing system, and on some level being a part of it. It's a real kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of scenario. But the one bit of free will that you have in this matter is you get to choose what you want to absorb, what podcasts you're going to listen to, what videos and what content you're going to take. If you're a big fan of fucking Lady Gaga or any of the mainline artists who they are advertising to you, If your favorite movie is some major motion picture that made $700 million or whatever because, oh, these people saw it, you may want to start thinking about breaking yourself from following what everybody else is doing. If you're shopping at Starbucks, and I know some people, my dad loves fucking Starbucks coffee for whatever reason, he likes the friggin' flavor, but these are all just the institutions. This is where all the sheep are going. There are mom and pop coffee shops that could really use your business, could really use your money. If you look around and the majority of your favorite things and the things that you engage in most are the most advertised to you, you may be coming to realize that you are susceptible to this fucking circus that they have created. Websites, apps, streaming platforms, they measure, they monetize your time literally down to the second. Your attention shapes consensus reality. So the ruling systems must manage it, filter it, and weaponize it. Consensus reality, I've talked about that a bunch. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The idea for both. Idea comes before form. That's how you know that this physical reality is not all there is, because the ideas happen before the thing. This is an execution of ideas. This is proof of an intellect on the other side of things, an intellect that you might call God or the Most High. It's not some dude in a robe. It's literally the gigantic fishbowl that all consciousness exists within. Because we are all equally powerful little portions of a God consciousness, we are all fighting for control of the microphone in a consensus reality. And the more doubt is poured into that reality, the more doubt becomes the reigning ideology, the starter position. Most people are coming from a place of, yeah, you can't do anything about it. Yeah, that's just the way it is. There's so many fucking old adages like that's just the way it is that fucking support the tyranny of this system and keep it going, even when it makes no sense for it to continue to propagate itself. So, what are the mechanics of this distraction? Circuses, sports events, spectacle. And that last one, that's the really insidious one, because there's all sorts of spectacle, and there are all sorts of spectacle that is being used. There's something that took a while to dawn on me, and it's crazy that it took as long as it did, because like I'm in the system, but on some level, because you're in the system, you're compromised. When you're in the entertainment system, you know, there's a certain belief that we're given of like, if you work hard enough, you'll eventually be validated. You know, I'm D. Snider's son, and you know, for me, that was like, all right, get out of the way and let me earn it. I'm gonna earn it. I'm gonna show you guys, and I'm gonna breach this system. I'm gonna break on through to the other side, like I've been told happens if you're good enough. Unfortunately, that's not the truth. The only artists you see, the only movies you see, generally, there are exceptions to this sometimes in small ways, and usually it's a microcosm of your particular world because of who you know and who you're close to. Maybe you saw an indie movie. Maybe you found this band that nobody knows about. Maybe you really got to something real within the system that you live in. And that's great. And for people who go out and find those things, fucking A. Do that. Keep exploring that. Search things for yourself. Discover music for yourself. Don't just accept the music that they play you on the radio. Because I've got sour news for everybody. You know, somebody like Lady Gaga, I promise you, she did things. She agreed to things that you would not like in order to be in the position that she is in. For me, an artist is somebody who is leading with their heart and using their fucking struggles, their trials and tribulation to teach, to impart wisdom, to help you to have an easier time because of the difficult time that they had. But in reality, so many of the people on planet Earth who have been rewarded for their talents, it has very little to do with their talents, which is why so many of these people have no fucking talent. They are being rewarded because of their loyalty and their willingness to participate in the system the way it is. And the system is about fucking quid pro quo and payola and fucking, somebody like P. Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein are showing us that it's about having information to use over somebody to twist the knife. I've got you on tape doing X, Y, and Z. You're going to do everything I want you to do or else. The system likes control. They don't like anything that they can't control. There's a real difficulty for me, even though I had some offers along the way in terms of, getting signed to a record label or whatever, but the offers that I would get, I didn't like them. Generally speaking, everybody would get very hung up on the idea that girls tend to think that I'm cute and that I'm charming on some level and that they thought they could sell me as a Bon Jovi. I grew my beard and I cut my fucking hair, all because I hated that. I was a freedom fighter. And I'm like, I'm not some fucking Chippendale dancer that's going to go wave my dick around for a bunch of young girls so that I could be a part of your weird control system. I've always known that to a certain degree, there was a false idea about reality and about what was possible. And I wanted to be the antithesis of that false reality. And I wanted to deliver directly to people's ears that they could do it, that they could do anything that they put their mind to, which is what my father taught me. And when I went out to the world, I saw that other people were not being taught that. Other people were living very small and safe lives because they were taught that, no, it's impossible to be famous or have success anywhere. But I saw success. I saw success in my father. I saw success in my mother. And I went, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. That is the greatest gift that my family gave me. It was just to be able to look to my right and look to my left and go, they did it, I can do it. And it's one of the reasons why I've always tried to be a very encouraging person, not just to my friends, but to strangers, because it was like this gift that I was given, this encouraging environment. And I wanted to help create that encouragement and that encouraging environment for other people. So let's talk about the Roman Empire. And we won't talk about it very long. But there's a term that was coined back in the Roman days. It said, give them bread and circuses. Now that has been reborn in the modern Rome, which has been on the fucking verge of falling for a very long time. But I think America, the seeds of America just have a certain spark of truth and free will at the heart, the very heart of America. Something that Americans fucking love, that I love. Always been a patriot because fundamentally we are based in the idea that everybody should live and let live. Everybody should be allowed to believe whatever the fuck they want to believe as long as they're not hurting anybody else. But this bread and circuses has continued. It's continued so that terrible things can be done in the name of America, in the name of freedom, in the name of democracy, all this bullshit. So often the leaving of the Democratic Party from like further and further and further away from the Republican Party has been a, look what they've done in our name, we need to destroy this monster. But the distractors are always playing both sides. You're not in control if you only control one side. This is one of the reasons why, seemingly, they do not like Donald Trump, because they are no longer in control of one of the sides. People are tuning out of media. People are finding their information, sources of information elsewhere. One of the worst things the Democratic Party ever did was lump conspiracy theorists in with Republicans. I was a Democratic conspiracy theorist. I never called myself a Democrat. I was always Democrat leaning, and was very aggravated by so many things that they would do. And I got to a point where I finally went, I can't support this party in any way, shape, or form. They're fucking liars, and they won't own up to any of their mistakes. They just keep PRing everything, like Disney, like the Disney Corporation. They will never admit to something that they've done wrong. Like right now, they're admitting that Disney asked for too much for Disney Plus of Marvel, and Marvel couldn't keep up with the demand. And their omission is total theater. It's total bullshit. I just did my Coolest Geek Alive on it last week. That's not true. It wasn't because there was too much Marvel material. It's because it was bad. The quality. It wasn't the quantity. And it was the people in charge, specifically Kevin Feige, who the Wall Street Journal article that went out last week, they were trying to obfuscate his blame. The people to blame for why the Marvel Universe was so fucking great on the big screen was the Marvel Brain Trust, which was filled with celebrities of my world, celebrities of the comic book world, the truly talented writers who had helped build the past 20 years at the time of Marvel's kind of renaissance that they went to when Joe Quesada, who was one of the head guys of that creative committee, took over, starting with Marvel Knights, and then branched out. He brought in a lot of brilliant creative people. And Joe's skill, which so few of these fuckers have, is that he has taste. He can recognize talent. And he brought in wonderful people. And when they started making these movies, they had a brain trust who was there, who was making sure that with each movie, they didn't close any doors. And close doors to future stories, to future possibilities, things that the fans wanted to see. Oh no, don't do that like that. Do that like this, so that we can still tell this story. And this doesn't go to waste. We can do a whole movie off of that. We can do a whole trilogy off of that. Don't waste this by doing it this way. There were people who fundamentally knew these storylines, and were writers themselves, and worked on these characters, and were helping to make it great. And they would bring in special people like Ed Brubaker, who was responsible for reintroducing Bucky as the Winter Soldier in the Captain America comics. Those fucking comics were great. And Ed was credited in the thing. Special thanks to Ed Brubaker. That was important. Ed was important. Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Millar and all of these guys who they had in, including people like Dan Buckley and behind-the-scenes people who've been working with Marvel and been paying attention and loving the comics for so long, they knew what they were doing. Kevin Feige was the film head guy. And when things shifted over to Disney, I think secret society people talked to him and said, hey, you want to fucking really be the man? We'll make you the man. We'll make it all about you. We'll give you all the credit. We'll make you the figurehead. You just got to do what we want you to do. And what we want you to do is we want you to use pop culture to fucking cause an American revolution. We want you to corrupt all of these myths. We want you to corrupt them, and we want you to do what we did in Russia. And, go talk to some old people from Russia who immigrated over to the United States. They'll tell you the weaponization of the LGBT community, and that's what it is. And I'm a member of the LGBT community. I hate this fucking term, non-binary. All these stupid little terms. What does it fucking matter? It's just so fucking showy and so me, and so fucking weak. All right? If you're fucking different, be proud. Stop being fucking ashamed. Don't allow the system and the other people to make us feel ashamed. Now, they've reversed the whole thing around, and now they're chastising everybody who's not fucking cool enough and interesting enough to be different than your typical fucking droid. But we don't need freaking our own stupid pronouns. They, them is great. No he, no she. Just they and them. Oh, a simplification of the language? That's a really good idea. However, 1,000 different pronouns for every fucking different version of mixing of masculine and feminine? Hey, you're a boy who's half masculine and half feminine. You're a boy who's a quarter masculine and 75% feminine. Okay, different terms for every single bit of that calculation? What are we, retarded? This is ridiculous. I can't believe this worked on so many people. In Rome, they wanted to give us bread and circuses. But that's been reborn. Now it's give them Super Bowls and award shows, give them state fairs and air shows, firework displays. It's a constant, seasonal media churn. Red carpet, playoffs, summer blockbusters, holiday specials. So there's always a new event to focus upon. Celebrity puppetry has gotten to an insane degree because of the deep cahoots that they are in and the deep desire that so many people who go into acting or directing or writing have to be seen, have to be chosen as one of the people who are special and talented and wonderful in every way. They don't want to just know that in their bones like I do. They want to be specifically validated by the system in every way, especially in those specific ways of whatever it is they've chosen to pursue. Stars are chosen for compliance and initiatory loyalty. Celebrities presented as gods, role models, who program culture by proxy. I mean, think about these fucking videos of everybody singing that little song and everybody's like speaking the lyrics. Gal Gadot led the chase for these things. Like, there was a moment in time when I was coming up, and my manager, she fucking knew. She'd gone to the colleges, she'd been indoctrinated about what the new world was, the way these things were going. And she was trying to get me into all of these fucking superficial ways of behaving and caring about things, getting this celebrity to be associated with this thing and to link to your Facebook and social media, whatever. And I sniffed out really quick that there wasn't, this was busy work. Social media and all this, it was busy work. The powers that be had grabbed control of all of these social media platforms, and they stifled progress and people getting out there. Virility is like a fucking glitch in the Matrix most of the time. And the rest of the time, it's the choice that the Matrix made. They've chosen the things that they want to be viral. They've chosen the things they want you to see and they want you to be overwhelmed by and distracted by. Nowadays, it's gotten off the chain with occult symbolism in performances, whether it's the Super Bowl, the Grammys, the fucking Met Gala. It is literal ritual magic distraction. And I know a lot of you guys don't believe in magic, but magic is a very simple idea when you're dealing with a collective consciousness, when you're living in a brain, the giant mind of God, spelling words. We all spell them the same. We all define them the same. We went to the spelling bee. We know how to define that word. We know how to spell that word, all in perfect harmony. What does this do? It's harmonizing us to the wrong way of thinking, to a limited way of thinking, the one that they have chosen. Idol worship has become very literal. You know, I'm covered in tattoos, but I don't have a single tattoo that is an idol. I mean, I do have Battle Cat and a hummingbird that I saw, a really beautiful bird. I love hummingbirds, I love tigers, on my body. But they are power symbols, and they represent my higher guidance, which they say your guardian angel and your muse, they hang out on your left and right shoulders as bright lights, guiding you psychically, silently on the other side of things. So I got those to represent those things. Every other tattoo I have, whether it's Wolverine's claws or the ruby gem of Sidorak from the Juggernaut, I don't have a tattoo of the Juggernaut. I have a tattoo of what gives the Juggernaut his power. I don't worship idols. I've known that was a bad way to be. I've never wanted to be someone else. I've never wanted to give my power over to another person. And please, never give your power to me. Never worship me. Respect me if you'd like. I appreciate respect. I try to always respect other people unless I feel that they are not worthy of my respect because they're not giving respect. But respect is a two-way street. And that is what you can have respect for Walt Disney and Steve Jobs and fucking D. Snider and all the people that I respect, who you might respect. Respect, yes, but do not worship them. I respect Christ. I lower myself to Christ, but I lower myself to all people, all things, not just Christ. He is not an idol to be worshipped, and I do not believe that he ever intended to be an idol to be worshipped. I believe he came here to show us how it is done, to give us something to aspire to. And if you think that Jesus was so good that you can't possibly be like him, boy, are you like shortchanging yourself. You don't think you could be generally a good person who wasn't fucking trying to be addictive? You don't think that like that's a goal that maybe one day you could fucking attain if you practiced long and hard enough? I think it is. Why not? Fuck, you've given up already on being great? Shit. This fucking illusion is working better or worse than I thought it was. We've become slaves to institutionalized distraction, and it's causing our enslavement. Education is being used as indoctrination. Knowledge drip-fed over 4 to 6 years that could be taught in fucking months. Emotional distraction via debt, grade point averages, and social engineering. I'm D. Snider's son. People give me this fucking power that you wouldn't even understand. It's so crazy. And yes, Arnie, spells used and occult all over and everything. 100%, brother. From a young age, I saw that I was being sort of lifted up above most people because I was connected to celebrity. It was very weird. I didn't understand it, but I observed it over and over and over again. I'm like, man, this person's treating me like I'm some sort of fucking god being. You know, oh, wow, say hi to your dad for me. You know, and I didn't like that because I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything to deserve it. I didn't, like, I'm D's kid. I mean, like this, I came out of his balls. You know, great. What does that mean? Well, to your average person, in this system, it means a lot. It means them giving a certain amount of their power over to me. And when I started to realize that that was true, I started to do two things. When I came up against people who really sucked, I would use that power to fucking destroy them. And when I came up against people who were wonderful and were giving this power to me, I gave it back to them. And in that case, it's a total reversal because they don't feel they're on your level. They feel they're below your level. So when you go, no, you're great too, and you can give them that feeling of like, you think I think you're great. It goes such a long way with people like that. You know, if you're listening to this on Facebook, you might be somebody who I did that for at some point in time. You maybe reached out to me, and I might have treated you with so much respect that you said, wow, this is cool, this is nice. I feel a little bit more special than I was made to feel yesterday. And you are being made to feel less special because you're not, or you don't have, or you're not connected to. That's half the game. So when you have this invisible false power, you have a responsibility, just like Spider-Man, to give that power back, to spread it around. And that's what I try to do. That's what I do every fucking week when I get on the mic and do this show. I've been able to be put into positions to know that there's a fucking Illuminati and know that the fucking Freemasons have power and there's shit going on behind closed doors that you wouldn't like to know about. And because I'm in that privileged position, I have a responsibility to share my knowledge, to open up other people's eyes, to say, dude, I've seen it with my own. Trust me, these people are not conspiracy theorists. They're trying to fucking warn you, and you're calling them crazy. But that's what this system does. It makes the true freedom fighters, the true altruists, into crazy people that we nail to crosses like Jesus. Jesus wasn't nailed to the cross because he said, blessed are the meek. He was nailed to the cross because he was flipping tables and pointing out the false dogma, the false religion, what was really going on behind the scenes, what was being done in the Most High's name. And he didn't like it, and he was strong enough to stand up for the truth and to encourage other people to do unto others as they would have them do to you, because we are all one. We are all one being, seemingly separated often by crazy distances, but we're all connected together. We are one web of life. And this is why we all have to be our unique selves and let ourselves interact authentically with one another, because that is when we all grow each other, when we all learn more. And all of this weird box that we've been put in, it prevents authenticity. It stops us from feeling comfortable being who we truly are. And that is a tragedy that I will never get over and never stop fighting against. Secret societies and fraternities equal gatekeeping filters, not brotherhood. I've chosen you, you're in the fraternity, you shall be the gatekeeper, and you shall keep the others who have not agreed and pledged and made oaths in blood and semen for all of the things. You will be the ones in the middle because you jumped through all the hoops that we asked you to jump through. Another reason why I'm not more successful in the music industry, I'm not much of a hoop jumper. In fact, if I know that the hoop is just a fucking hoop, this is literally a hoop. You want me to jump through this just to prove that I can be controlled by you. I will burn your fucking hoop. I will set it on fire before I jump through it. And I don't mean I'm going to set it on fire and then jump through it, which would be a nice circus act. I mean, I'm going to set it on fire so it's not useful anymore. I was once told by my old manager, I thought this was so fucked up, and it really should have told me something about who they were, that they would do auditions, casting auditions for Broadway. And when they had different actors come in, at a certain point in the audition, they would ask them to do something ridiculous, something borderline embarrassing. Why did they ask them to do this? To see if they would. To see how controllable that person was. I remember hearing this and thinking, it's so fucked up. If you tried to do that to me, I would sniff it out and I'd be like, fuck you guys. I am out of here. I have no interest in working with you. It's not working with you. I have no interest in being controlled by you. And yet, she was young when she was doing that. These people learn. They learn soon in college and through their mentors how to control people, how to see if people are controllable. Feminism, a feminist movement. It was an inversion. Women were sold a revolution, and they got a second job, and state-raised children. Their quality of life decreased. But the benefit to the system was immense. Men were blamed for a system that none of us are running. When you blame the patriarchy, you are talking about an itty-bitty group of 0.001% of the men. 99% of us have nothing to do with this oppression. And 99% of us are fighting the fucking wars, dying and suffering, doing the ridiculously fucking hard, back-breaking jobs, and yet we, as a group, as a whole, are blamed for our oppressive society. The oppressors pointed below and went, "It's all of these men." What fucking utter bullshit. Some of these men are the greatest people on planet Earth. People who are willing to sacrifice their bodies, sacrifice their happiness for their children, for their wives, for their sisters, for their mothers and fathers. And it tends to be a thankless job. And through the feminist movement, it became that much more thankless. And today, white men everywhere literally feel oppressed. Men don't approach women. They keep quiet and to themselves. The squashing of honorable masculinity is such an affront to God itself. And what is the result ultimately of all this feminism? Division and double taxation. They couldn't tax the women when they were in the home. But now, taxing all those incomes. More taxes. It's always about money, ain't it? The Rockefellers and the Roosevelts, they were pushing the feminist agenda. Some people thought that it was for the women. It wasn't for the fucking women. These families were also responsible for transforming the entire school system, turning it into state indoctrination. Get those women out of the home, get those kids in school most of the day, and get them learning exactly what we want them to learn. Get them at the spelling bees, learning how to spell these words and define these words exactly the way we want them to, so that when they grow up and they hear these words on the news, it will be easier for us to control their minds. In most recent time here in America, but like I said, this happened in Russia a long time ago, or not really that long ago, they've weaponized our sexuality and our individuality. LGBTQIA plus issues used not to empower, but to divide and overwhelm. This is the thing. If you're out there and you're on that list, if you're in the community with me, dude, we cannot let them do this to us. I don't know about you, but my difference isn't here to make the fucking Christians feel shitty about themselves the way they used to make me feel shitty about myself for being different, telling me I was going to hell. There's a new version of you're going to hell. You're going to be canceled. If you don't think in lockstep with me, we're going to cancel you. We're going to erase you from the planet. Same fucking thing. Reverse hazing. They hazed us. They did it to us first. I once had a friend of mine, this beautiful fucking 6.5 foot tall Nubian god. This guy is beautiful, fucking handsome, strong, strapping, smart, talented. I couldn't believe the words coming out of his mouth. He and I got into a whole conversation about race swapping. And the first like half of the conversation was all these animes that we loved, where they race swapped the whole freaking cast. And instead of it taking place in Japan, it took place in America. Instead of all these characters being Japanese, all of a sudden they were white. And we were like, oh man, I hated that. Oh man, I hated that. Oh man, I hated that. And finally, I get to Wally West, who's one of my favorite characters. Wally West is the Flash. He's the second Flash. He was honoring his uncle, Barry Allen, because he wanted to live up to the mantle of the Flash. What Barry represented, being a true hero, meant something to him, meant something to me. My dad, he's a rock star. I make music too. I want to live up to the mantle of D. Snider. That shit meant something to me. And I said to him, I said, oh man, and Wally West, when they fucking made me so upset. And he goes, nah, I don't care about that. And I said, what do you mean you don't care about that? And he said, he's white. They've been doing that to us for forever. I said, what? I didn't do it. I don't fucking have anything to do with it. How is it any different that you had imprinted on all these other characters who were Asian or whatever it was? I forget the ones that led up to Wally, but we talked about a bunch of them. And we were like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, so many examples. And then Wally, you don't give a fuck? Because you're black? Fuck you. Fuck you and your reverse hazing. If you're smart enough to know that it wasn't fucking cool when they did it that way, you should be smart enough to know that it still ain't cool when it gets reversed the other way. Reverse hazing is bullshit. If you've been hazed and now you get into a position where you could haze back, don't do it. Honorable men don't do it. Honorable men change systems. They don't perpetuate the same fucking bullshit that they hated when they were in. Sex is used as a pacifier. Porn, hookup culture, hypersexual ads equal dopamine addiction and disempowerment ultimately. Oh, look at this thing you can't have. Oh, idols to fucking worship because you can never be it. The same way we've been taught that we can never be Jesus. Only Jesus can be the Son of God. Bullshit. Jesus was here to teach us otherwise, and they corrupted his message. And they took your power away using his good name. I know that Jesus would be fucking devastated to know what has been done in his name and what has been done to his name, how it has been used not to empower every person on planet Earth who is a small piece of God, but to disempower you all, to put you beneath him. And on some level, a respect level, you should be beneath everyone. But this is a balance. You're beneath everyone. You respect everyone. But you're also above everyone because you respect yourself. A balance of power that you have and other people have. And I don't want to hurt you. I want to respect you. I want us to live in harmony. So I will put myself beneath you in some ways so that I can be respectful to you and to your needs. And I will put myself above you in some ways so that I can respect myself and get what I need and I want out of this life. That is what I believe Jesus really wanted. And if you listen to so many of the teachings of Jesus Christ, Yahweh, that were kept out of the Bible, I believe it's written there rather clearly. You just have to go look. But when you're dealing with a Bible that's been edited time and time again by kings and councils of Nicaea, yeah, they have cleverly and carefully pulled some of the deeper meaning from the messaging so that they could get you in a box, so that they could leave you worshiping idols and disempower you completely. When you keep people in crisis, you create a pain loop. Sickness is distraction. I watch one of my friends going through cancer right now. His whole life is revolving around his cancer treatment. It's difficult for it not to. It's fucking hard. You're getting radiation and all these things, and it weakens you, and and at the same time you're feeling fucking down, so you go onto social media and you post about this stuff so you can get some likes and you can get some love and you can get your friends knowing what you're going through and trying to send some good vibes your way, because that's important. You need that when you're having a hard time. Sickness is a distraction. Death, sure, but not as much as the suffering, the sickness, the long-term problem. Flus and flu season and all of the fucking sexually transmitted diseases and otherwise that you might get and lose and get over and whatever. Some people that I know who think they get fucking sick all the time, and they do because they think so, they're just in a constant state of distraction from their various ailments. I, too, was taught to be such a strapping man that getting hit by a fucking car and being damaged really badly as a teen, I never acknowledged my injury. And at 30 years old, my injury came on so strong that for the past 12 years, I have been absolutely distracted by trying to heal myself, trying to fix this problem. It's hard to be the fucking patriarch of your family handling things great when you're dealing with freaking heart problems and body aches and arthritis and back pain and shoulder pain and all the fucking things that the men specifically in our world go through, often in silence. Debt equals distraction. More of that pain loop. When you can't get out from under the boot of your finances. I got a divorce 8 years ago. Holy shit. To a certain degree, some of that debt distraction I'm still dealing with. Granted, I've been able to overcome this through having faith and knowing that I'm on the right path and that I'm doing the right things and that everything that I'm doing is leading to the perfect place for me. And that so many of the difficulties of this debt distraction that I'm under, they're not long for the world. And not being incensed by them and frustrated by them and feeling trapped by them. You know, for me, everything, what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up. And I know that this is, this downturn on whatever level is going to lead to a much greater upturn because that's how it goes. Watch the waves of the ocean. They go up and they go down and they go up and they go down. And the down and the up is related to the previous down and the up. That's how a world made of consciousness works. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the waves flow, so does your own energy inside you, or your own waters inside you, as you are mostly a being made of water. Legal drama equals distraction. The whole fucking thing that happens to men when they get divorced, and shout out to my ex-wife Patty, who has 99% been fucking awesome to me. Awesome. Thank you, Patty. Thank you for not helping this system to distract me more. Thank you for not helping this system to crush my ability to take care of my kids and my family. Thank you for recognizing that long term, the less pressure you put on me, the better I will be for not just myself, but to help our children and to help you and to help the world, as you know I've always wanted to. Thank you. There are not a lot of Patties in this world, unfortunately. There are a lot of scared women reaching for any little bit to control this ex-boyfriend, this ex-husband, this ex-boyfriend, this ex-partner, so that they can be less afraid of their debt and their sickness and all these things. That's what drives people to fucking use the court system to create legal drama, to fuck up other people's lives, the only way they feel powerful. Legal drama, even the court system, and all right, we'll adjourn in 2 months. We'll adjourn in 2 weeks. All right, we'll see you again. Today is just the day where we schedule the court date. Today is not the day where we do anything in court. All right, you back to your jail cell, and you can wait there for a little while. Distraction. This person might be innocent. More time that they have to sit in a fucking jail cell. They're going to get a fucking apology and get that time back when it's found out that they're innocent? No. Legal drama is distraction. And it's so funny because sickness and debt and legal drama, these are TV shows. Secession, ER, Chicago Hope. Fucking She-Hulk, attorney at law. It's so dramatic and distracting in real life that we've fucking extra dramatized it, even though, I'll tell you what, the drama of the TV shows tends to be a fraction of as fucking distracting and crazy and interesting as the real life fucking sicknesses and debts and legal dramas that we go through. Not only is it a real life slavery, this real life evil, Now it's also our entertainment. And when it's your entertainment, it becomes a falsehood. It becomes a fake reality. That's not real. That's not TV. That stuff doesn't happen in real life. Yes, it does. And worse. You know how many fucking stories, real life true stories, Hollywood says nobody will ever believe that. And they edit the stories. I mean, I just thought of the fucking Iron Claw. It's the movie about the Von Erichs. You know, there was an additional brother who died? At a certain point, the entertainment media complex said, oh man, we gotta get rid of one of these dead brothers. I mean, people just aren't gonna be able to take reality. My father has a script, really great script, that I think will be one of the first movies that we make with Defiant Productions, our film company that we're starting, called My Enemy's Enemy. And the first half of the script is about something that really happened on Long Island. And when my father first wrote it, he wrote it pretty close, pretty accurate. He toned it down a little bit, but he wrote it pretty accurately to how it happened in real life. And everybody who read the script came back and said, you gotta lessen this. This is crazy. People just aren't gonna believe it. They're not gonna be able to handle it. And my dad's like, but this is what really happened. And this is why I found it so compelling. But he did what they said. You know, he toned it down because, oh man, truth is much stranger than fiction. It's kind of the cool thing about truth, actually, because you will be so much more entertained and enthralled by the truth of your reality when you really start digging into it than you ever were by these stupid films and movies, these contrivances of entertainment. Reality is layered and difficult and dark and strange. Family court, tickets, fines, inflation, endless forms of taxation. How many different times and ways are they going to tax your fucking money? This all equals time-stealing bureaucracy. If you don't have time to see what's going on, to better yourself by reading books, by listening to the right people speak, by getting the nourishment that you need for your soul because you're too fucking busy being sick and in debt and stuck in fucking legal dramas. Poverty, weaponized, is there to exhaust your soul and destroy your dreams. You don't have fucking time to pursue your dreams when you're in debt from a fucking divorce and you're barely able to fucking take care of yourself in meaningful ways. Because I was in this weird position myself for a little while, I wasn't taking care of my health because it was additional money and I didn't have insurance in place for myself. And it was so expensive to go and take the little money that I was having at this time left over for myself and put it into my health. The only way I could take care of my health was to take money from my children. And I didn't want to do that. So what did I do? I didn't take care of myself. And I had a period of time where my teeth were hurting so fucking badly for like a year. And I just let it happen because I couldn't. In my mind, I rationalized I could not take the time, take the money to fix this thing. And my teeth got so badly, to such a bad point, that I had to. It was an emergency. I had to go to the dentist. I had to get these teeth out of my mouth. I had to try to help myself. And in doing that, it was worse for my family and worse because I couldn't pay them for a month. And she didn't have the money that she was planning on having coming in because I had an emergency. And this emergency could have been avoided and probably would have been better for my family if I had just taken care of myself at the time. Certainly it would have been, because I would have been in a much better mental state that whole year that I was suffering from tooth pain. I would have felt better. I would have been able to get more done, make more money. Life could have been good. But instead, I got distracted by letting myself suffer because of all these different reasons. Debts and responsibilities. But not the responsibility that I have to put my mask on first if the plane is going to crash. Because if I pass out before I can put on my son's mask and my daughter's mask, then what kind of father am I? We have a responsibility as parents and as citizens of this world and as children to take care of ourselves for all of the people who love us. When we die, it doesn't fucking hurt us. It hurts the people who love us. Don't do this to the people who love you. Take care of yourself for them, knowing that it's not just for you. It's important equally. The same way you think it's important to take care of them, it's important to take care of yourself. And part of it is a responsibility that you have to do right by the people who love you. It's crazy to think that even healing is monetized and delayed. It's all a distraction, man. Modern MK Ultra, which I know a lot of you people struggle with, once they turn it into a movie, American Ultra, that's just some silliness that Jesse Eisenberg's up to. Not. I encourage you to dig deeply into the reality of MK Ultra, because it's not secret, man. It's out there. There's plenty of people talking about it, talking about every little bit they can do, and talking at great length about how you can control people's minds through media programming, through the repetition of the same thing over and over and over again. Haven't you seen that thing of 1,000 different newscasters from 1,000 different little news stations all across the country saying the exact same thing in the exact same words, verbatim? Why would they do this? It makes it so obvious that they're programming us and that they're controlling us. They have to. It's the repetition of the same thing that makes it catchy. That's what I do when I write songs. I'm using it for good. I'm repeating the thing that I want to hook into you. I'm repeating it to save you. Follow me to the promised land where the drinks are free and we understand that we're beautiful because we're here alive and no one leaves here lonely tonight. Follow me, promised land. Follow me, promised land. If you've never heard that song, it's one of my songs. That's the chorus. And it repeats a good 3-4 times. Promised land. Follow me. That's the important part. I'm here to help us get to this better place. Follow me. Promised land. Follow me. Promised land. The longer version of the cook says those things. Follow me to the promised land where the drinks are free and we understand that we're beautiful because we're here alive and no one leaves here lonely tonight. Getting deeper into that same idea, but it's all meant to encapsulate into follow Jesse Blaze Snider to the promised land. The song is an advertisement for me, for my message, for me as an artistic friend in this battle that we are in for our hearts and souls. But I am using the programming method that they use, because you can use their weapons for good or you can use them for bad. School shootings, MK Ultra fingerprints equal shock doctrine for gun control. Every single one of you sharing any number of these fucking abhorrent events and thinking that you're a good little sheep by believing that people are this bad, that people are this evil, that people just pick up guns and go out and randomly fucking shoot people. I'm so grateful that my intuition has always been strong enough to know that most people are good. And they are. These programs have existed for a very long time. The big problem in America is we have the right to bear arms. It's the one right that they don't have basically anywhere else. It's why people are being arrested for social media posts in Great Britain, and similar shit happens in Canada all the fucking time. It is our right to bear arms that makes the population of America powerful. I don't own any guns. Personally, I happen to think that having a gun is sort of an open door to needing to use it. And I like to live completely outside that world. But I'm very glad that my fellow countrymen have guns. And there are people who like target practice. I'm actually a pretty good shot myself. My dad loves to go down to the shooting range. Usually on his birthday, we'll go and shoot. And it's very funny because the Snider family, we'll fight if we have to, but we're largely loving pacifists. And we are wicked shots, motherfucker. The right to bear arms is the equalizer that the government does not want you to have. So why would the government MK Ultra people for school shootings and massacres? Because they want our guns. And every fucking time one of these things happen, what happens the next day, within the next week? They are calling for taking our guns away. Take those guns away. Get rid of them. You know what the stupid thing is about taking guns away? In Britain, because they don't have guns, they have a stabbing problem. They're stabbing each other. If we didn't have guns, we'd stab each other. The shit's going to happen. However they control things, if people are going to kill people, they're going to figure out a way to do it. I've got two hands. I could kill you. Knowing that I could kill you is part of my power. It's part of your power. You are a device, a very advanced device. You got fingers, you got thumbs, you got muscles, you got sinews. You can kick and you can bite and you can punch and you can squeeze. If you've got it in you to hurt somebody, you'll figure out a way. So you're not saving anybody by taking their guns, and you're actually playing directly into their hands. And the fingerprints of fucking MK Ultra and control and subterfuge is all over these fucking shootings. The easy one that I will point to is the shit that went down in Las Vegas a bunch of years ago now. There were so many fucking reports of multiple shooters from multiple windows, and it's easy to fucking find them and find the videos of the flashes of their fucking muzzles going off as they were shooting people from these hotel rooms. Many shooters. Many. Dig into it yourself. There is a lot. A lot. And I don't like to get into those fucking subjects mostly because, god damn it, it's a fucking quagmire, and the people who are in the system want to fucking defend the stuff. For me, I smell something rotten here. There's enough weirdness for me to know something more is going on here than what they are telling us. And that's all you need to know and accept. But trust me when I say, dig into these things yourself, and you will be mortified by the fact that you can't easily dismiss the whole thing. That's the reason why I became a fucking conspiracy theorist, because I kept looking into these conspiracies and I was mortified that I couldn't easily dismiss everything. I couldn't. Fuck. Damn it. There are people out there who were there, who have been directly affected by this. What a piece of shit I would be if I went, nah, that's all bullshit, even though I see that there are incongruent facts that do not line up with the truth they told me on the news. If there is any reason to doubt the official story, fucking doubt it until we have a proper explanation. There's nothing wrong with that, man. There is something wrong with sweeping the incongruent information under the carpet and going, and of course, you got to be careful that these things don't become the distraction in itself. Misinformation in the conspiracy community, people falsely representing themselves as people who know things but are actually there because they really do know things, and they're there to misguide us. There are plenty of different communities within conspiracy communities that are there to make the community as a whole look bad. There's all these crazy ICE happenings coming out. And hey, sometimes mistakes happen, bad things happen, and maybe some of these things that I see have really happened. But knowing what I know and knowing what this system wants, they want open borders where they can get any secret agent from any country into this country, where they can get revolutionaries of fucking fighting age into our country. They want that. They want anybody to be able to cross into America and cause trouble. We are an important chess piece in the whole world of geopolitics. America is a big deal. Destroying America would be a huge win for this globalist system. Knowing that, and then seeing something that paints the idea that we're trying to have a more reasonable border policy and we're trying to get rid of criminals who are in our country raping and murdering people, and that shit is absolutely happening. And anybody who tries to minimize the fact that, oh, it's not really happening that much, if it happens fucking once to one person, it's too much. If some fucking person crosses into this country illegally when we are no longer a country that's trying to fill itself up. Back in the day, we had, yeah, come on in. We're trying to fill this thing up, manifest destiny. At a certain point in time, we didn't need that anymore, and then it became a more reasonable system. Okay, we're going to slow this thing down here. We're still America. We'd like people to come into America. We want people in here, but there's a process. I know so many thousands of people who have used this process and come into America and been great. The majority of the people who don't use that process, there are reasons why they didn't use the process. And those reasons are enough for us to not necessarily want them here in the country. Even if it's something like they're too uneducated to be able to go through the process, yeah, we kind of don't want to fill the country with people who are going to be voting, who aren't capable of knowing what they're voting for, people who are easily manipulated by a lying Democratic Party who's giving them free housing and free shit just for fucking being here because they want their vote, because their vote means they can control us better. Yeah, it's a fucking slippery slope. When you become a country that has gotten itself to a certain level of education where you're able to think for yourself and you're able to read books because there is free speech and freedom of religion and the right to fucking bear arms. Yes, we need to protect this place. And a reasonable border policy is not unreasonable. So, would the people who want an unreasonable border policy be interested in perpetuating the idea that somehow these ICE teams are evil, jackbooted tyrants who are kicking these poor, unfortunate souls who came from marginalized countries in the world? Crimea River. Do you know how many fucking marginalized countries there are in the world? All of them are marginalized. So are we, even though this is the fucking best we got. Did you hear what I've been telling you? We're being distracted by sickness, distracted by debt, distracted in every way they can distract us. We're being stopped from making the world a better place, from making this country a better place specifically. Don't you think that if we got our shit together and we're really a country of fucking safe, secure, not debt-ridden, not sick people, that it would make it easier for us to go out into the rest of the world and do some real good? to help up those other people. What did I say? You put on your mask first before you put on your children, so you do not faint and become useless to your children. How is America supposed to be the good guy helping everybody if we let ourselves get sick and injured and indebted and don't do anything to save ourselves? Because we're too stupidly, lovingly trying to save everybody else when we are not saved ourselves. And so many of the people who are fucking shouting from the hills, we got to do the right thing, they are the people who are least affected by this system. They are the people who have bought into the system and are playing its stupid game. And they're like, yeah, system works for me. Well, the system does not work for the fucking rest of us, man. And you should really open your eyes and look around to that and see that your self-righteous moralizing about what we should do, yeah, it exists in a perfect world that isn't so corrupt and isn't actively trying to distract us all so that it can get away with all of the war and all of the debt and all of the suffering and misery that it is creating on purpose to distract us. False flags and overhyped events that dominate headlines while real laws change in silence. Laws are changed and no articles are written. The articles and the news coverage are about the things they want you focused on. The newspapers, the news media, it's owned by all of the same people at the tippy top. And if you don't think they are asserting their influence on that media that is being brought to you, I wish I could live in the land of ignorance that you live in. Unfortunately, you are going to be hurt by this system just the same, whether you see it, believe in it, or not. And when I say false flags, I'm not just talking about Pearl Harbor, which was an attack that we allowed because they knew that it would get us to join into World War II. And they needed a reason to get us into the war. And boy, did it work. An unprovoked attack on Pearl Harbor? Get those fucking Nazis! And there we go. We're in. They got us. And all they had to do was create an event to incite us. Flash forward years later to 9/11, which if you don't fucking know what most people I think have woken up to, that was a false flag. They needed an excuse to get us to go over to the Middle East and start wrecking shit. And that was the excuse we needed. I remember at the time being so revved up as an American patriot. I didn't believe in war. I believed in diplomacy. So I wasn't signing up for the army, but I was very motivated to do something, to be a part of the change in the world, in the speaking change into the world. Just like so many people were inspired to join the army, to go do something about this, to get those people. Did 9/11 make Americans mad? Did 9/11 make us all agree to go to war in one loud voice? Yes, it did. And did we even attack the people who had been pointed to? No, we attacked other fucking countries. And nobody said anything because we were all fucking riled up about war in general. We want revenge for what they did on 9/11. That is the power of a false flag. Those are two that we know about. There are others that we know about that have been documented historically. How many other false flags don't we know about? Left versus right is a distraction. George W. Bush, Sr. and Jr., they belong to the same bloodline family that Bill fucking Clinton and Obama, even the black president, is in the same bloodline as almost all American presidents but one. The crazy thing about the fact that we know that is that comes from a child who did an ancestry book report and was able to trace every American president's lineage back to one king. I think it was a king. The insanity that we could find out that all of the presidents had come from the same bloodline but one, and we didn't collectively go, that's strange. Wait, what? They all have the same blood? Especially for anybody who knows how bloodlines work within kingships and fucking sultans and all these things. The meaning of a bloodline. And the meaning of a bloodline even deeper when you get into secret societies. The bloodlines that control the world. The Rothschilds, the Red Shields. In World War II, the Nazis and the Allies were funded by the same money. And when the war came to an end, none of that money was prosecuted. The money was in cahoots with both sides of the war. The Republican Party can be difficult to control in totality because it's filled with libertarians and this past election, Amish people, and generally people who have a very specific world that they're living in that they don't want controlled. They don't want pointed to, sort of socialized, I guess you would say. They are looking for complete independence in one way or another, a la Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec. Was Ron Swanson a racist? You might try to twist him into being a racist, but the Ron Swanson that I know and love simply does not believe in the government's ability to do anything right. And he will not give the government any more power to do anything because he's seen how they do everything poorly. That is the overriding ideology of the Republican Party. But within that, Mitch McConnell can be bought, and there are plenty of fucking Mitch McConnells where that came from. There are plenty of Bushes. When they need a Republican, don't worry, the globalists will have the perfect Republican. And the news media will put that Republican straight into your face, and they'll start telling you why, oh, we don't usually like Republicans, but this Republican, I don't know, something about this Republican, maybe him. And then we have the illusion of choice. Oh, well, we had a Republican president. Okay, now that didn't really work. Let's try a Democratic president. Oh, well, it's Democrat. That didn't really work. Let's try a Republican president. And we go back and forth and back and forth. The Republican Party is brought to you by the people who brought you the Democrat Party. It's all the same money. Wake up. Race baiting, culture wars, TikTok outrage. It's all distraction, baby. They want the black man and the white man fighting. They want the Mexicans and the Mexicans fighting. They want all of us at each other's throats. The men, the women, the Catholics, the Jews, all of us. It helps. The more we're fighting, the more we're pointing our fingers across the aisle instead of above us, the more they win. The more distracted we are. Online echo chambers equal algorithmic psych prisons. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about what they do online on these various social media platforms? X was able to expose a lot of this. But there's been a lot of talk, but there's been a lot of whistleblowers in social media explaining how we get put in rooms specifically with people who support our ideas and then a small amount of dissenting opinions. So we always feel like our opinion is right. Look, I'm surrounded by people who agree with me, but not that guy. Get him! And that guy is in a room where he's surrounded by people who agree with him, but not you. Get you! And there we go, back and forth and back and forth. And we're all told, look at all the people who agree with me. And if there aren't enough people who agree with you, there are bot farms. There are robots, accounts that are posting social media nonsense, have things in their fucking bios that make this seem like this is important to anyone. It's not important to anyone. This is a fake person. I find them all the time. I have somebody follow me, and I open up their account, I read their bio, and I go, this doesn't seem real. This person's whole world revolves around this one union decision. It's not even an important union decision. What is this guy doing here? He's propagating ideas. He's trying to make the illusionary, or create the illusionary idea that this is important. That anything that the system wants to be important is important. They will fill your feed with followers until other people automatically follow you because, well, look at how many followers they have. That's why bot farms exist. So that they can get such a differentiation between your average person and how many fans they may have, and create an illusionary platform that you're existing on that nobody knows except those who are paying strict attention aren't real people. But then they become real people because they've tricked you into believing, oh, this person's important. They're not going to do that for me. I'm telling you everything they don't want you to know. They throttle my reach on Facebook. I'm doing this live on Facebook right now, but I'm doing it on my personal page where I have, a few hundred friends, whatever. I used to have 5,000 in my personal page, but I left social media a while back and I only just came back recently. If I tried to post this on my professional page, it would go nowhere because I don't play their game. I don't do for the algorithm what they want people to do for the algorithm. So they crushed my reach. I have like 13,000 fans or something like that on my Facebook. I can't reach them. I can't reach them unless I individually message them. And if I start individually messaging them that a new album's come out or something like that, at a certain point in time, they will throttle me. They'll be like, stop, you've reached out to too many people today. You're not allowed to do that. What do you mean? They're all my fucking fans. Why aren't I allowed to do that? Because we need to be able to control you. We need to be able to stifle and frustrate you using this platform because we don't want you to be able to use this to make real progress in your life or career unless you're playing our game, unless you're one of the chosen few who we allow to rise to the top. If you're not going to play the game the way we want you to play it, you don't get to play. You're going to lose. I want to talk about something now that some of you guys are going to have a hard time with. And it is the space theater, our fractured sky. There are a lot of inconsistencies with the moon landing, so-called lost technology excuses, which are preventing us from reaching the moon right now. I don't know, we lost the technology that we used to get to the moon, and now we can't get there. There's this Van Allen belt thing. The Van Allen belt, suddenly, it's insurmountable. It wasn't insurmountable when we were in a space race with Russia, when we were in a Cold War. Wasn't insurmountable then, but that tricky Van Allen belt, we can't get past it now. Please, motherfuckers. We haven't had so many people propagating the fucking one of the most popular conspiracy theories on planet Earth. The moon landing was fucking fake. And there's a lot of things to back that shit up. And it is a deep dive. and a crazy subject that you have to get into. But you know what's a way easier way to start to believe that the moon landing maybe was fake? Go look at China's space program. They have videos that they're showing their people. They are the fakest fucking videos of people in space you've ever seen. And immediately the question becomes, why? Why would they do this? Why would they be faking this? And the answer becomes, oh, well, because they want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to be like America, and they want to be like Russia. And then you go, wait a second. If China would do it, and they're doing it this badly, and they do have a lot of money, China has money. Why aren't they sending people to fucking space? Why they can get past the Van Allen belt? We can't get past the Van Allen belt? They're going into the thing? And granted, I'm not sure if I've seen that they've been going to the fucking moon recently. I think I've just seen some stuff of them on space stations. These videos are fucking fake. Go watch them. Spend a few minutes watching what China is showing their people about this space, all the things they're doing in space. And you're going to go, what the fuck? Then go a little deeper. Look at every NASA space badge that they've ever made, and you will see symbolism in every single one of them. Go investigate the various people who have gone on various space missions and find out that basically all of them are Freemasons, members of secret societies who take oaths to the secret society first and foremost. Those are the people we're trusting to go to space. Those are the people we're trusting with American secrets, technology, and whatever else. Freemasons, people who have taken an oath to something beyond America first. That's strange. I guess it would be easy to cover things up, anything that you wanted to cover up, when all of these people had taken oaths to secret societies that are more powerful than any of the governments on planet Earth themselves. China's spacewalk CGI grade fakery, a show for the masses of the Chinese people. In communist China, a place where if they doubted, if they dissented, they'd just be taken off the street, thrown into prison. God knows what else. I don't know. I don't live there. But I've heard some things. It's not so great when the king and queen are wrong and you are right. In a place like that, they don't take kindly to dissenting voices. Most rulers don't take kindly to dissenting voices. NASA patches are filled with Masonic symbols. You can go find a V hidden in plain sight on every single patch. Often, it looks like the fucking tongue of a snake. And whenever I see it like that, just like somebody crawled over my grave. The recent patch that they made for Katy Perry's launch, when you turn that shit upside down, it looks like a demon face. And you might go, oh, well, you know, mistakes are made, exceptions happen. Yeah, except a lot of them do. These things happen all the time. The coincidences mount. The statistical irregularity of the odds that these 1 in a million mistakes or 1 in a million happenstance coincidences do not add up. It's not a coincidence, it's a coincidence. These things coincide. There is a pattern. They connect. Connect the patterns. See the irregularity on display. But, right, seriously, why fake this? Because if you looked up and saw lies, you might start looking inward. And they can't have that. Everything that I've learned about spirituality and all these things, the space race, the smallness that we become when We're not the center of the universe. We're just some little blue planet that just so happened to get life and, oh, whoopsie daisy. It minimizes the 1 in a fucking bazillion chance of this life and all these things. It makes it this little thing. It's not this thing magically created from some force beyond. It's this very practical, simply explained thing. And that too helps their cause and is another distraction. The distraction of feeling too small to make a difference, too small to matter, not big a deal enough to do anything of significance, change anything significantly. That's where they want you. And they've got us all right where they want us, mostly. Hollywood is a prophecy machine. I mean, it's crazy. You got Star Wars. The fucking empire is all of the fucking governments of all of the nations all around the world. Hunger Games, The Matrix, it's all coded disclosure. They're telling you the truth. I remember I once tried to point out to somebody that the shit that happened in Tommy Boy was not Tommy Boy, Black Sheep with that's the one where he is the brother of the senator. There's an evil senator in that movie who's running against the brother. And the things that she does, a lot of them are based directly on fucking whistleblower books that have been written about Hillary Clinton. And when I tried to point that out to somebody many years ago now, they came back and just went, "Oh, it's a fucking movie, you moron." I am a writer. Often, the best ideas I have taken from reality. This happens in reality. That's why it hits so close to home. That's why, oh, that bitch, she's doing that. Yeah, that bitch, Hillary Clinton, and others. This is what they do. They're getting votes from dead people. They're having people vote for them multiple times. There are all sorts of little insidious ways to rig this fucking system. And in a movie like Black Sheep, a comedy, there is coded disclosure of the real truth of the political reality you are under. And now, people say to me, when I point to the truth, they go, "Oh, it's just a movie, you fucking moron." No, I'm not a moron. You're a moron. I've read the books. This happens. You're a fucking idiot who thinks, "Oh, that's just something somebody made up in a movie." No. And once somebody does make it up in a movie, now that idea exists for other people to go, that's a good idea. Remember the Menendez brothers? They watched a fucking movie one day, saw that these people killed their parents or something like that, and then they got the inheritance, they got the money. And they went, that's a good idea. We should do that to our parents. We'll kill our parents. Look at that, inspiration. Art imitates life. Life imitates art. It goes back and forth. Sometimes the art's the beginning. Sometimes the art is the end. It's been said that science fiction is a precursor to science fact. It's true. And science fact is a precursor to science fiction, often. The empire is not an idea. It's the truth in silly costumes with lightsabers. The empire is very real. I'm enjoying right now the second season of Andor, even though it's got some shit about it that I didn't love. I didn't really love the rape thing that they did. There's a couple things that are a little annoying. But the good things that they do in that show are really good. And the powerful way that they demonstrate how you can just fucking take whatever you want, even from the best people. It is on display, especially in the last 3 episodes of this season of the planet Gore. They've got resources that they want. The Gorns are good people. and they want what they have. So they start demonizing them. They start making them look bad. They help the most extreme factions within the society to get weapons. They send out a platoon of their worst men to be attacked. And they get them to attack them by having their own sniper shoot their own men, the Empire's own men, so that then the Empire are provoked to fire back on the Gore. And then the Gore, who have been given weapons just in case, but don't really want to have a violent revolution, they pull out their guns and they start firing back because now they're being shot at and killed. Oh boy. And then what do? Oh man, the Gore, they've been extremized by rebellion from outside, and those people that it's festered in here, and now everything's falling apart in this terrible act of the Gore people attacking the Empire, who did nothing but help them in this way or that. Oh my God. This shit is not fiction. It happens all the time. I have friends who live in South Africa. Do you know how they keep that fucking place war-torn all the time? Well, there's something like, I don't know if it's in the teens or in the 20s, of like individual cultures that live there. Groups of these people and groups of these people and groups of these people and groups of these people. And you know how they keep them all fighting? You know how they keep them all mistrusting each other? They pay groups that are on the opposite side to go into the opposite side and do terrible things. Rape people, kill people, whatever. And then those people go, oh, the black people just came into our community and fucking raped our wives. Get them! It wasn't them. It was people who looked like them, who were paid by the system to cause division, to keep them fighting forever. This shit happens throughout our history. Read the books from the whistleblowers. Don't read the books from the system. The system will tell you the lies that have been agreed upon. But there are always whistleblowers. There are always people willing to tell you how it really was. And there's always more than one. And if you read enough of the whistleblower books, you will get a real idea about what was really going on, what's really going on wherever there is calamity. And what is always really going on is they are trying to distract us in one way or another. They are trying to take your attention away from anything that might lead to this world bettering itself, to anyone from getting outside of this box that they are trying to keep us in. Every disaster movie, dystopia, or alien threat, it's preparing you for the illusion of control. My brother Cody's a filmmaker. He's very interested in aliens, that subject. He's done ayahuasca and interacted with various alien beings in very, very powerful contexts. And he's been inspired through some of these experiences that the best way to open up the door for disclosure and contact from other races of beings is through comedy. Because through drama and horror, like Fire in the Sky, they're creating a rift, fear of these aliens, fear of an invasion, Independence Day. This is all to make you afraid of disclosure, afraid of contact with other civilizations and other beings. The reality is, most of these higher beings that are on the fringe of things, they are literally higher beings, thinking differently, living in a higher vibration. If they wanted to come down and fuck with us, all these UFOs seem to indicate that they have the technology to do so, and yet they have not. And yet they make crop circles and other things like that, put on spectacles of one variety or another. If they were to be feared the way we have been propagandized to, it'd be all over. They clearly have much better technology than us, but that hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, my brother goes into the system and he's trying to make these movies of this kind of stuff, and he gets hit with a lot of pushback from the system and the military people who are involved in the film system. Yes, they are there. They are very much involved, adding little things to various movies for disclosure, coded disclosure. And he had a lot of pushback against that alien comedy sort of thing. They are trying to set us up to be scared about aliens. I think the ship has already sailed on this, and I think they've already moved past what was called Project Bluebeam, something that you can go look up online and read about in great detail and see all of the signs that were already there in reality because they were working on it. But at a certain point in time, I think the plan, fairly recently, was abandoned. And what would that be? Alien threats. The latest distraction. The latest cake and circuses. So what is the big why of it all? If you look away, they lose. This is why I'm talking about this. If you look away from their distractions, they fucking lose. They can't distract me anymore. Not in the way that they want to. I mean, some of this stuff is fun to be distracted by. Go down a little rabbit hole of this or a little rabbit hole of that, find out about Bigfoots or whatever else. Bigfoots don't like being called Bigfoots, by the way. There's a lot to learn about. There's so much. But is it really a distraction when your heart is leading you where you want to go? Where your intuition is deciding what you would like to focus upon? No, not the type of distraction that they want. If they don't control your attention, they don't control your reality. They don't control mine. Not anymore. Oh man, there is so much in my reality that is not supposed to be there. There is so much in my reality that I'm not allowed to have access to. But I will not be denied. Without your gaze, they lose their influence. Without your clicks, they lose data. Really hard to be studying and controlling you when you're not inputting into their system in all the ways that they'd like you to. Without your fear, they lose power. And that is really the big message of today. Don't fear. Fear is an illusion. Fear is the easiest distraction. If you're afraid, you're interpreting everything through that lens. Do not allow yourself to interpret information through the lens of fear. If you do, you will always come away with the wrong answers, the wrong impressions, the wrong lessons learned from it. Fear, like so many things, is a bad idea. And I encourage you, whenever you hear anything that has come to you from a place of fear, root it right out of your heart, root it right out of your skull. Do not allow it to baptize itself within you, to soak into you like water would soak into a cloth. Do not allow that to happen. There is no fear that will protect you from anything. Fear attracts calamity. Your full and total bravery is the best protection on earth. Do not teach your children to fear. Do not spread fear. You are not saving anyone by warning them away from their own strength, their own sovereignty. Some of these things that I'm talking about can be scary, sure. But I'm not telling you these things because I want to frighten you. I'm telling you these things because I wish to lift you up. I wish to empower you. Where is the information coming from? Are they saying this to me because they want me to be afraid? Did they nail Christ to that cross and hang him up in the center of my church to inspire me? They put him there like that to show me what happens to the fucking best of us. To have me living in a state of fear for as long as I am living under their blessed roof. There is no good sort of fear. It is always best to approach even the scariest of situations without fear. Fear will be of no benefit to you in any situation. It will be of no benefit to your children in any situation. And when that fear is gone, and all that remains is faith and strength, you will always be better off. Your children will always be better off. Everyone you know will always be better off. Fear is never the answer. To wrap this thing up, I just want to say, you've been told the world is complicated. It isn't. It's not. You've been told to trust experts. Don't. Do not trust their approved experts. You've been told everything matters. But the truth is, what you give your attention to becomes the God that you worship. Every moment you give your focus to false flags, fake stars, and ritual pageants, you're helping them build a world that doesn't need your soul, only your screen time. And what is that? A world of connection divided by screens, curated by those who think they are omnipotently powerful and the arbiters of your choice and your free will. They are not. There is another way. Turn off the noise. Tune into your truth, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Reclaim your power by choosing where you look, what you love, and who you listen to. And that doesn't mean listen to me, baby. Listen to me if it speaks to your heart, if it speaks to your soul, if you know in your gut that I love you. And I do. And when I say I do, if you feel that in your gut, yeah, listen to me. I am here for you. And I hope you can feel that that is true. You choose. You choose. Reclaim your power. Because the moment you stop giving them the show is the moment the circus ends. You just have to stop participating in the fucking clownery. No clowns, no circus. I love it. I'm going to go tweet that. No clowns, no circus. Wah, wah, wah. Sad face. And what comes next after that? That's the show that you were born to fucking lead. I'm Jesse Blaze Snider. I hope you're listening to my entertainment show, Coolest Geek Alive, every Wednesday, where I'm blowing up the fucking entertainment industry, and every Saturday, where I'm recommending some awesome shows. Last weekend, I recommended the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. What a fucking moving documentary made by a friend of my family's, Diamond Dallas Page, who created DDP Yoga, which he did that to freaking help people in his community. And that documentary that he made with Jake the Snake and Scott Hall, it proves he put his money where his mouth is. I'm so proud of that man. He's a great guy. He deserves your time and respect. Watch that fucking movie. See what Jake the Snake did for himself, for his family. It's awesome. Listen to the show. Go through every Saturday, every other episode. It's a recommendation for a great movie, a great TV show, something worth your fucking time. I don't know about you, but these days I watch 90% of the stuff and I just go, oh my God, this is not worth anybody's time. There's no medicine here. There's no help. There's nothing to learn. Well, I will point you in the right direction. My music show, All Your Favorite Bands Suck, will be returning soon, but there's still 55 episodes featuring all of my favorite bands. I mean, not all of them yet, because I still got a lot more. But 55 of some of the best bands in the world, humor bands, rap artists, rock artists, all sorts of shit. Go check that out. It's everywhere podcasts are released except for Spotify, because we got taken down. Finally, my magazine with all of my best friends in the world, with Digger Mesh and Aaron Sparrow and Todd Blackwood and Steve Kurth. I'm so excited about this thing. We are up on Kickstarter, not to purchase the book yet, but to sign up for notifications. If you want to make your life really easy to sign up for notifications for Sugar and Bones magazine, you can go to bldsts.com, which stands for Blacklight District Studios. bldsts.com. Go to bldsts.com and you can sign up for notifications for Sugar and Bones magazine. It'll be coming out it'll be like the actual campaign will launch in the next 2 months, maybe just a little bit more than that. Anyway, we want you reading the book. We want you checking out all this stuff. Obviously, it's blowing up over here at the house. People are getting here because I went a little bit over my time. But please join me again next Monday and every fucking Monday for another awesome episode of Everything They Don't Want You to Know. I don't know what I'm talking about next week, but I'm sure it will fucking matter, and I'm sure that they do not want you to know. Join me, won't you? Care Bear Scare. I love you all. See you next time.
There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. It's not a matter of time. Sure as the blaze in your eyes. I sense a subtle shift. Instincts I can't resist. Weary of wolves in disguise. Drunk on a gallon of wine. Red as the rivers you cried. Bad apples spoil the punch. Bruises and rotten fronts. You've got a thirst you can't hide. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. Might be a fault of design.